I want you to entertain that the topic we're going to be discussing in this video is one of, if not the biggest obstacles you have with regards to seeing the results that you want out of life, accomplishing the goals that you want to accomplish. This topic is identification. Now, if I were to ask you who you are, you would probably tell me your name, maybe what gender you are, where you're from, how many siblings you have, maybe what you do for work, what you're passionate about. Whatever you hold as a part of you, you're going to tell me. So where does the issue come into play here? How is that stopping us from seeing the results that we want to see, accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish? That's the conscious side of identification. That's me asking you a question, you thinking about it, and providing me with an answer. That's not the side that's an obstacle for us. It's the subconscious aspect of identification that stands in our way a lot more. So I want to paint a picture for you. Imagine you're learning how to play a new instrument, and it's been a couple hours and you can't seem to tackle a simple task or learn a simple little melody. Or maybe you're playing a sport, you're playing basketball, and you miss your first 5 shots. In either one of these situations, you can imagine you might be feeling discouraged, frustrated, maybe a little bit sad. All in all, you're feeling like a bit of a failure. You're feeling a lack of success. That's what failure is, right? You're having trouble. The reason that failure will persist, if it does, is because you're identifying with it. You're feeling it as a part of yourself. And again, this is a subconscious process. You're not thinking about how you're a failure. It's storing itself into the depths of your psyche. You're identifying with the failure. You're getting frustrated because you think that those missed shots are what you are. You associate yourself with them. So you've probably seen some cliche posts that say, mindset is everything, or failure is the main ingredient in a recipe for success. That's the one I was thinking of. You see a lot of that with like a picture of like Michael Jordan or Albert Einstein or something. Some really inspirational, iconic person. Now, the reason that failure is so important for success is because wherever there's failure, the same proportion for success is born. So if you fail this much, you've just opened up opportunity for this much success. The thing is, if you identify with the failure as a part of who you are, instead of storing it as a tool for you to learn from, that's exactly where you're going to stay. Because think about what it means to identify with something. It means that you hold it as a part of you. So if you hold failure, if you hold a lack of success as a part of who you are, then you're going to keep on failing. But if you use it as a tool to learn and approach your circumstance a little bit differently, to make changes, then you're going to excel. You're going to tap into that proportion for success that you've created with the first failure. Now, we talked about 2 examples. We talked about the basketball example and the music example. Those are 2 very small, insignificant things in our life, right? If you're just trying to learn those as hobbies, maybe you play basketball for fun, maybe you're just trying to pick up a new hobby to learn how to play the piano. Those are small things. It's not really a big deal if we don't actually get to learn how to play, or, we keep on missing in basketball. But to each their own, right? If that's your goal, if you're trying to be a professional athlete as a young kid, if you're identifying with failure, you're not getting anywhere. If you're trying to be a professional musician, if you keep identifying with your failure, Your motivation to be persistent and change your approach isn't going to be there. So what are some bigger ways that identification can affect our life and stop us from achieving the goals that we want to accomplish? So maybe we want a different job. Maybe we've been working a job for a couple years and we don't resonate with it anymore. We're not passionate about it. But we identify with it. We identify with that circumstance of not enjoying our work. So a part of what you are is somebody who doesn't enjoy their job. That's embedded in your beliefs now. You think it's a part of you, the same way that brown eyes are a part of me. You hold that circumstance as something that's just as hereditary as your eye color. You can't change your eye color. And in your belief system, that's going to grow out of the subconscious identification. You're going to think that you can't change your circumstance. So you're going to keep working that job because I can't make my eyes green, so I can't change my circumstance with my job. It's a part of who I am. Again, this is a subconscious process. You're not actually thinking about it in this way. But buried into the depths of your psyche, you actually believe this. I want to make a little analogy here. The subconscious mind is like the soil. Whatever quality soil you put in your garden is going to be the same quality as what rises from it. So whatever you're integrating into your belief systems through your subconscious, whatever you're accepting, is going to give rise to the way you act and the way you make decisions. So it's important here to understand that our subconscious mind is in the background. We have to go out of our way to pick apart the way it operates. I have another video on the way that, well, it's not specifically on the way that our subconscious mind works, but it talks about the depths of your awareness. I think that's the title. You can go check that out. That's on my page as well. The way to go about changing this issue of identification, well, if you've watched this video, now you've already learned about the ways that you might be holding yourself back through identifying. That's the first step, having an awareness over your tendency to do that. Having an understanding over how you're limiting yourself, how you're putting up an obstacle that you can't break through. Now you know what the obstacle is, you know how it's being put there, so you can just stop putting it there. That's how we're going to target this problem of identifying with failure, identifying with your circumstance. Because you're not going to change it if you identify with it. Like I said, if you identify with brown eyes, you know that you can't change your eye color. If you identify with being a failure, you're going to believe subconsciously that you cannot change your circumstances. You cannot change that you're a failure. So we have this awareness over our tendency to do this now. That's the first step. If you want to fast track your progress a little bit, you can grab a pen and paper. You can write down all the ways that you might be limiting yourself through your tendency to identify with an unfavorable circumstance. Now, when I say unfavorable circumstance, that's up to you to decide what that unfavorable means. So maybe one person sees your job as unfavorable for them, but you're actually passionate about it, and you enjoy it, and that's not what you want to be changing in your life. Well, that's favorable for you. That's not something that needs changing. So to each of their own, right? So we want to write down all the aspects of our life that we might be holding ourselves back, and we want to approach them when we're in them, when we're in the moment. We want to approach them with that knowing of, okay, I might identify with holding myself back here. So anytime you see negativity rising in yourself with regards to accomplishing something, seeing a result, breaking past some sort of barrier, anytime you feel negativity in yourself, ask yourself if you're identifying with not accomplishing that goal. If you're identifying with not getting your assignment done on time for school, let's say, right? Maybe you identify with being a procrastinator. Well, you're always just going to procrastinate because you believe that that's a part of who you are. If that's something that you want to change, you can use this awareness now to use the failure, and in this case, the failure is procrastinating because you want to change that. You can use that as a tool to say, okay, how am I going to change this now? I got to give myself some more time. Just an example, right? This is a little bit easier said than done because chances are this tendency to identify with our unfavorable circumstances is very habitual. It's a habit, and habits are hard to break. So we have to constantly be aware when we're doing it. We have to remind ourselves. So anytime you're analyzing, how am I supposed to break past these barriers? Think, okay, where am I identifying with the issue? Where am I thinking that the issue is what I am? Because if you're thinking that, you're not going to break past it. I think that sums up today's video. If you like this video, please share it, like it, leave a comment. That would be very valuable for me. And yeah, hope you find value out of this as well. Let me know what you think, guys. Take care. Have a nice day. Thanks for listening.